Hi, welcome back to the Minnesota Conservation Funding Guide. In this video module, we'll learn how to get practice and payment information. Right now, we're on the Welcome page of the Minnesota Conservation Funding Guide. Starting from the Welcome page, click on Search Practice and Payment Information to go to the Select Practices page. This page is optional. You can either select certain practices that you want to see using the options on the page, or you can select all practices in the upper right corner to see a list of all the practices covered in the tool. There are currently more than 55 practices in the tool. When you get to the Practice and Payment Information page, you have two options. You can either select a conservation practice to learn more about the practice, or you can select Compare Payments to view side-by-side payment summaries of programs that pay for that practice. For example, if we click on conservation tillage, one of the practices in the list, we'll get a fact sheet all about that practice. The fact sheet covers basic information about the practice. It has photos. It explains why landowners might want to consider this practice, including environmental benefits as well as practical benefits. It discusses similar and related practices and provides links to information about each of those. And at the bottom of every fact sheet are links to other resources, in particular technical resources from USDA's Natural Resources Conservation Service. Back on the Practice and Payment Information page, next to conservation tillage, we could have selected Compare Payments. You'll get a side-by-side comparison of the programs that currently offer payments for this practice. On this side-by-side comparison page, you'll see a separate column for each of the programs that offer payments for this practice. You'll see a description of each payment. For example, under the EQIP Environmental Quality Incentives Program column, you'll see a payment description that reads, an annual payment of $23 per acre to practice no-till, strip-till, or ridge-till on up to 320 acres for up to 3 years, and higher rates apply to historically underserved participants. Note that at the top of the column in red is information about recent or upcoming deadlines. Some programs offer funding year-round, but most do not, so it's important to check for these notices at the top of each column. If there is no notice at the top of the column, you can always contact the contacts listed at the bottom of the column. Every one of these columns has contact information at the bottom, and it is important to contact these local conservation professionals to move on to the next step. Finally, another thing you can do from the side-by-side comparison page is get information about each program. For example, if you wanted to learn all about the EQIP program rather than just the payments it offers for this practice, you could click on this link. At any time, you can return to the Practice and Payment Information page to choose a different practice. Or you can go back to the Select Practices page to select specific practices of interest to you. This concludes the module on getting practice and payment information.